I've been a long-term admirer of the Class 52 locomotive, and I was well pleased with my original Dapol purchase a number of years ago. When I was able to get my hands on a factory-weathered version in the form of the Western Centurion, my admiration for Dapol's incarnation of this locomotive went up a notch. Is this the best OO gauge representation of the Class 52 that money can buy today? It's time to take a closer look. Hi, welcome to today's review. So the first thing we're going to do is an unboxing, and then we'll take a close-up view, including a 360-degree view of the locomotive. We'll follow that with a running session, and then we'll do a summary scoring section, and then we'll finish off with the final recommendation. Okay, let's get into the next section. Hi, so we're just going to do a very quick unboxing for this this Class 52, which is the weathered Western Centurion. So it's the one version of the Dapol Class 52s that's actually got factory weathering, and I was very keen to pick this up. I picked it up just before the end of the year, and I'm only really getting a chance to get a look at it now. So it comes in the standard packaging, and I've talked about this packaging before, and it is one of the best, I think, that you'll get. So let's just get that out of the way. Let's take a look at the actual model. So I was really keen to see this model. I'd seen some photographs of it. The weathering looked pretty good in the photographs, and I did like the idea of having a weathered version. So we've looked at this before, so we can skip through this, and it's the really good packaging, as I mentioned. So I've been keen to take a look at this model, and it's the visual, it's the weathering I got it for. I'm very pleased with the existing 52 that I have from Dapol, which again we did a review of, and now I wanted to take a look at this guy. So let's see what we've got here. Let's take him out, and we'll just get that out of the way. Okay, so wow, this looks really good. Look at that for weathering. So this is not your typical factory weathering, I would say. This looks really good. You can see the windows there, the whole dirty look on the front there, the buffers, an all over weathering job, the bogies, the effect on the underside. We will do the normal close-up view of this as well to give you a look at this, but throughout really good matte finish, dark finish on the roof there, weathered finish. All around the bottom area and through to the other side. So that is just really spectacular. Very pleased. This is just what I was looking for this locomotive, and I am really keen. So I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking the sound module out of the unweathered version that I have, and I'll be slotting it in here. And then we'll do a running session with that, but we will do a close-up view now of this locomotive, and we'll do a 360 view so you get a better feel for it. But I would say, out of the box, this is probably the best factory weathering I've seen, bar none. I really haven't. This is really good, a really good factory weathering job from Dapol for the Western Centurion. So really looking good, and looking forward to seeing this on the layout. Okay. Let's go to the close-up view, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so let's get into the close-up view. So here we've got the front end of the locomotive. You can see the really nice bogie detail there, and I've highlighted this on the original review of the Dapol 52. It's a really robust bogie. It's got this fantastic metal spring effects, and I think it's nicely weathered as well on this particular model. Again, as we go across the bottom of the model, again you're getting very nice weathering on both the roof and the underbody area. You can see the engine, windows into the engine area, so if you did have lighting in there, that would be nice. Again, you've got the weathering on the roof, and you've got the rear bogie, again with those fantastic springs, and a really nice looking bogie overall. Very nice detail in the cab as well, the nice surround on the windows as well. They've got the handrails there. and we'll see the front and rear of the locomotive on the 360 view now that's coming up. So here we get an overall view, so you can see a bit more in terms of the weathering on the roof there and the roof detail, and it does kind of bring out things like some of those vent areas do look a lot better when they get weathered. They can be a bit bland on an unweathered model. And I think overall the weathering job is really good. You can see it on the windows there. You can see the marks of the wipers showing, and so nice good glazing. And as I said, a nice level of detail in the cab. Maybe not as detailed as I say some of the very latest models, but I think in its day it was a very detailed cab. You can see the front area there, the buffer beam area, and as I say, you do get swappable buffer beams with this particular model, again, which is a nice feature. And you've got the nice grab rails at the front there as well. They're separately fitted parts. So overall, a very attractive model and a very authentic looking model, I think. So we get into the running session here. So we're underway. We're running under DCC here. So we've turned down the volume. So as usual, there is a link to the full volume running session in the description if you want to check that out and actually listen to the Southwest digital sound. So we're picking up speed here. We're running with a rake of weathered coaches. So the details of those are actually in the description of the video of the full running session. I'll probably add them into the description of this video as well. So we're picking up a good speed here. And you know, it's a relatively short rake for a locomotive of this level of weight and power. So we could easily run a much larger rake. And typically these would have run with rakes of maybe 10 to 12 coaches in the field, and that certainly wouldn't be a problem for this particular model. It is really smooth, and we kind of pick up here towards the upper end of the speed scale that's available to us. As I say, we can't get to the full 90 mile an hour prototypical scale speed, but we are able to get up to around 75-80 miles an hour, which we're pretty well running at just now. And I'm going to start slowing this down again. So overall, it's a very nice locomotive to run. I think it's very solid on the track. I've never had any derailment with this locomotive of any description, which is what you want, obviously. And I think I would have very high confidence in it, which is why it's a pity you can't go at a slightly higher speed, because I think it wouldn't have any issues. And you wouldn't have to be worried about running it at any higher speed. So I'm going to start slowing down now, and again, the low speed performance on this locomotive is very good, and really, an impeccable runner. And I really do actually enjoy running with this locomotive because it looks so authentic, and you put a rake of weathered coaches behind it, and you've got something that looks like a real train. It kind of brings you back in time, I suppose, to the diesel era. So here we come to a standstill, and overall, very nice running session. Okay, so let's get into our summary. So first off, we've been looking at the Dapol D1026 Western Centurion in the BR Blue weathered livery. It comes with a 5-pole motor with all-wheel drive and all-wheel pickup. It's got extra features in terms of the directional cab lighting and the illuminated head codes. And the cab lighting can be controlled individually at either end, so which is a nice added feature. It does come with a detailing kit, which contains the head code labels, as a good variety of those, and also alternative buffer beams, should you wish to apply those. And if you wish to take off the couplers, for example, you can just put buffer beams, decorated buffer beams on either end. Also comes with etched nameplates. It's 21-pin DCC ready. Now in general, the Dapol Class 52s come in either ready, fitted and sound versions. Not aware that there was a sound version of this particular model, and the version that I have here was a ready version, which I added Southwest digital sound to, and I'll cover the addition of that sound actually in a separate short video. The unbox weight is 552 grams, that's with the DCC sound fitted, and the top speed is 80 miles per hour. That was 100% throttle at 220 milliamps under no load. So that was under DCC control with a Locksound 5 decoder. It is less than the prototypical speed, so which is disappointing, and it did have the CV setting, CV5 set to 255. So you can possibly get a higher speed under DC, but it was disappointing that I couldn't get a higher speed under DCC. I always would like to see prototypical speed achieved. So we'll reflect that in the scoring. The typical selling price, and this is across the Dapol 52 range, DC ready models are coming in that kind of 134, 35 pound range up to the RRP, which is 157. DC fitted is a bit more expensive, obviously, 160, typically up to the RRP of 188. And then the sound fitted versions retailing typically for around 250 to 260. If you purchase them on the Dapol website, you'll pay the full RRP of 302.77. That's as of August 2022. The D1026 Western Centurion isn't generally available from the retail outlets at this point, so you tend to have to get this on eBay. It does appear every couple of months you'll see these on eBay. They're not extravagantly expensive, so not like other models sometimes that you see on eBay. So you'll kind of see them coming in at the kind of typical retail prices, to be honest. So you can pick these up at, as I say, roughly equivalent price to the other models. So let's get into the scoring. So I think the first one is the running performance, and in general the running performance on this model is extremely good. It's a lovely smooth model, it's got good pulling power, and a really a joy to run on the layout. The only caveat being the top speed, not being able to achieve the prototypical top speed of 90 miles per hour. So it may be possible to get that under DC. I don't have a radius 3, radius 4 DC circuit that I could test that on, so if somebody has done that testing themselves, please put that in the comments. I would like to hear that. But unfortunately under DCC we're only getting roughly 80 miles per hour equivalent scale speed. So I'm marking that down by 1 point, but apart from that the running performance is excellent. Appearance and detail, again I'm giving a 9 out of 10. I think we'll hopefully see that this is a very nicely detailed model, and I think a very well executed factory weathered model, much better than most others, to be honest, that I've seen. So I think a very nicely equipped model, probably missing a few of the extra little bells and whistles that you'd get. That you'd be getting extra cab detail, you'd be getting things like engine lighting on the newer models that you see today, obviously. But I think overall this model has all the pieces that you really are looking for, and it is a very nice authentic rendition of the Class 52. Extras and variants, again a 9 out of 10. Doesn't have a fitted driver, unfortunately. Otherwise it does have a good lighting package. I say it is missing the engine lighting. You do get some detailing kit. You get the extra swappable buffer beams, which are very welcome. I really do like that on these particular models from Dapol. And you've got the head codes, etc. And so overall a nice lot of extras, and obviously this is part of a whole suite of Class 52s from Dapol, which really cover the entire range of Class 52s across the different liveries, etc. But this is the only weathered version in the series. The build quality and packaging I'm giving a 10 out of 10, and in general with any of the Class 52s I've had from Dapol, I've had absolutely no issues with them. There's no fiddly detail that's falling off, there's nothing interfering with the running performance. They really just are robust, they run well out of the box, and I've never had any problems. They do come extremely well packaged, as you'll have seen from the unboxing, and I would always rate that packaging as best in class basically. And as I said, the quality of the models themselves have been very, very good. Price value, and this is at the £136 mark. You might see this at about 133, 134. These it does vary a little bit. At that price range for a DCC ready version of a model of this quality, I'm putting that as a 9 out of 10 in terms of value. I think it's extremely good value for this model. It's held its price over the last 3-4 years, which is again really well done to Dapol. I think when you purchase one of these models, I think you're getting very good value, and you can be well pleased with the price you're paying. So overall, for a DCC ready version, it's a 9.2 out of 10, extremely high score. I think it's representative of the quality of this model. These models have been around for a number of years now, and I think they've I've certainly had no problems with any of the models that I've had. I've had a very good track record, so I think they're well proven. They don't have quite all the bells and whistles of the newest models that are appearing today, but I think I'm extremely happy with the model as it is, and it has been trouble-free, which is a huge plus point. So that's the scoring. The Dapol Class 52s are well built, well detailed models with excellent running performance at a very good price. The added factory weathering is a nice addition to this particular model, and since I've added the Southwest digital sound, this model has become my favourite Class 52 and one of my favourite models overall. If you're in the market for a factory weathered locomotive, then this ranks as one of the better ones, though it can be a challenge to source at this point. You should see one appear every 1 to 2 months or so on eBay. If weathering isn't your thing, there are still plenty of other Dapol Class 52s available, and at prices that haven't changed in over 4 years, they represent another example of excellent value from Dapol. The Dapol Western Centurion, along with the overall Dapol Class 52 range, comes highly recommended. So is this the best OO gauge Class 52 model that money can buy today? Well, I tend to think so, and even if it's not the newest and shiniest model out there, it's proven itself with many years of reliable service already, and looks set to have a longer operational life than its real-world equivalents actually had. Built in 1963, the real D1026 was withdrawn in 1975 and unfortunately scrapped after a relatively short 12 years in service. The Class 52 Westerns won't be for everyone, and a weathered version like this one probably even less so. Even with that, I still find it brimming with character and a reminder of the dirty and grimy glory days of diesel that many of us will remember through the rose-tinted glasses of our youth. It's very much a model of its time, and maybe that's one of its attractions, I guess. So what are your thoughts on the Class 52, and in particular Dapol's incarnation of it? Would welcome your input and feedback in the comments. My next reviews will be a return to the modern era and the world of the pristine and the plasticky. I look forward to seeing you on one of those, and in the meantime, happy modelling, and thanks for watching today.